Recording.
She had 3 in her class.
Yeah. Permaculture Smackdown.
With my biscuits, I'm putting the smacky in Smackdown.
I don't know if I'm spelling Quandra right. Anyway. Guess what, Paul? We're live! We're live! Welcome, everybody, to Permaculture Smackdown. My name is Josiah Wallingford, and my esteemed colleague,
Paul Wheaton.
We do this every week, and glad to have you. Today, we're going to talk about residual income streams. Let me first tell you a little bit about how this works. If you are a Patreon follower of Paul Wheaton's or a customer of Perma Ethos, as in you've taken an online educational course from the greatest online educational course school out there, you get access to the live broadcast of this. You get to join the audience, you get to chat with us, you get to tell us your thoughts and share your experiences with us. And we look at them and talk about them. And sometimes we even bring you on to the show if you want to do that. So thanks for coming. Cool. So residual income streams, Paul, I have a shitload to talk about within this subject, a bunch of different things that I've done and ideas I've had that I would love to share with the audience. And you have quite the story in your life, how you got to where you're at using residual income streams.
I would have to say I kind of stumbled onto it accidentally. And what I did was I just kept writing articles and putting them up on the internet. And then at some point somebody told me about Google AdSense, Google AdSense. And so I stuck the banners up. They paid me really well, so I just left them on there. Then they've dwindled by a factor of 100 since then, like what they pay. But still, the important thing is that money kept coming in from things that I wrote ages ago, years ago, more than a decade ago. Money keeps coming in month after month after month, and so I stuck them up with a bunch of stuff. Then I kept writing things, and I kept, when I would remember, I would stick more up. And then there would be once in a while where it would be like, wow, I've got like $700 a month coming in from all of these little web pages that I made and stuff. And then I would be like, I wonder if I can get that up to 1,000. And it's like, so then I studied SEO and I studied, whatever else to help bring traffic to them. And then I got to the point that I was earning like between $1,500 and $2,000 a month. And it became clear that, if I could keep my expenses really low, then I don't have to go to work anymore, and I can focus full-time on permaculture, which I've become so obsessed about. So I made that leap. I did that. And that's that whole era where I'm like driving around to different farms and taking little dopey videos and putting them up on YouTube. And then one day YouTube contacted me and said, hey, can we run ads on your videos? And we'll give you half. And I okay, fine.
Oh, those are beautiful days.
Yeah, of course, everything's gone to shit since then. But the thing is that I got to the point that I got to the way where I was accumulating money. I had built up like, I think I got to the point where I had built up like $70,000 in the bank, and I wanted to buy land, but I couldn't find any land that I wanted for $70,000. And so I was trying to find a scenario where I could either get owner financing or lease land or something like that. And finally, it was October of 2012, and it's like, I have got to just buckle down. I just need to buy some fucking land. And I've got so much in my head that I want to do, and I've got to get back to having land again. So I turned to the residual income stream kind of stuff and put a lot of focus in that. And I focused on Code Ranch and how I wanted to run advertising on Code Ranch, and so I came up with this thing called DX1, and it was called DX1 because it's a devious experiment. And basically the thing is that the banner ads and stuff were paying squat. So I wanted something that was not an obnoxious ad. And so basically DX1 is the predecessor to what we now have on Permies. It's called the Tiny Ads. I'm sure you've seen them around.
I've seen those. Yeah.
Okay. And then
in fact, I have supported your devious experiment and put my ads up too.
So I did DX1 and it was a massive success. And it's like within just a few months, I was able to buy land. And so now we've upgraded DX1 to DX5. And we've added a ton of other stuff within both Permies and my Code Ranch site. And I've set it up so that anybody can basically do what I did. It's all set up with an affiliate program. And so, I keep running into people that desperately want to make the move. But basically what they're looking at is this like that if they cut their expenses down to the bone, and if they can somehow get a 10% raise at work, that maybe in like 15 years, they'll be able to buy a terrible piece of land and make the leap. In the meantime, they've got all kinds of expenses, and that's assuming magical things about like my car never breaks down again and whatever else. And so as I heard all these stories, I kept thinking of like, it would be great. And then at the same time, I get all these people who contact me and they tell me, you know what you should do? You know what you ought to do?
I love those.
You gotta make a web page that's all purple. See? Yeah, the conversion and the SEO. I mean, you're doing it all wrong. See?
Purple's in right now.
Yeah, whatever. And it's like, you know what you should do? And so all these things, and I kind of feel like, all right, well, here's what I've done. I have set it up so that all of the products that I have, and so that's going to be the Rocket Mass Heater DVD sets. There's a total of 2 sets. Each has 4 DVDs. The World Domination Gardening DVD set, the 177 hours of the PDC and the ATC, and lists and lists of other stuff. There's a bunch of stuff. There's got to be like 20 different things that I have now. All of them have a 50% affiliate fee. And then the next thing is that if you want to do what I did and tell people about DX5, then you get a 40% affiliate fee. So if you can move $30,000 worth of DX5, you get 40% of that, which is what? I don't know, like $12,000 or something. So, and it's like we got tons and tons of inventory. And so anyway, the thing is, and then I once I've made this available to all those people, the great thing is now when somebody says, you know what you got to do, then I say, well, then you go ahead and do it. You create a web page and harvest the affiliate. If what you say is true, you'll make $100,000 off of your truth. What I leave out is, and of course, if you're full of shit, I guess you don't get anything, right? So I feel like we've got tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff that's just my stuff. But there's my story, just me. And it's like now of course too, in a way I've got this other residual income stream now, which is all those products which are just kind of selling right now, and there's money that I get each month from that. But now I get more because of that, and I've continued to push my residual income streams, and so now I have people that are working for me, and I pay them, and I pay them out of those residual income streams, and hopefully they help me, make those residual income streams stronger.
Yeah. You touched on a lot of things on my list that I want to go into a little deeper. Basically, when I look at residual income streams, I think of three things that are three ways of going about it and how you can combine those. The first way is to already have money and invest in things that would provide residual income. The second way is to build lots of content of different things that would bring in income. And then the third way is a combination of the two, I guess. It takes a lot of upfront work, but in the end, it makes life easier and cheaper. Or it takes a lot of sacrifice up front, and then it makes life easier and cheaper so that you can get the means to provide the first two. All right, so the first one you touched on was real estate. You wanted to get real estate. So getting those residual incomes to get real estate is a great way to go about it, to build your way up that way. Now, one thing about real estate is that it in itself can be a good residual income stream, or a good way of reducing your outcome, right? Because if you're renting, you're paying a lot of money for something that you don't get to keep. And so if you can get the property and start living on the property, you're no longer paying rent, you're just paying property taxes, which isn't nearly as much as rent is. And then, of course, you have upkeep on the house and things like that. There are expenses to it, but it is less than renting overall. In general. I mean, it depends on where you buy and all kinds of things. So there is that, but I want to focus more on getting to that point. Like if the ultimate goal is to get to the point where you're buying property, we could roll with that. And then we'll talk about property itself and how that helps.
All right, I want to object, I guess. I want to poop on your position. I want to rain on your parade. I want to fuck up your train there.
You want to put the Smackdown on me?
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, baby. Okay, so you're suggesting a rental property scenario as residual income stream, and it's like, I guess you can think of it that way. Maybe. I mean, I just kind of feel like let's say you bought a house. And then you're renting it.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Well,
okay.
Okay, there's lots of different ways. There's all, but all right. The thing is that, let's say you bought a house and it's right next door to you, and you're renting it, and because you're wanting it, you're calling it a residual income stream. And the thing is this like, okay, when those guys, don't pay their rent one month, how residual is that?
Right.
Suddenly you're over there knocking on the door. Hey, so basically it's kind of like, I do think residual income streams come in many flavors. And because to me, that seems more like an investment property.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're going to down that road, there's also the idea of the residual income stream where you invest wisely in like stocks. To me, that's just total gambling. And it's like, but if you do it smart, then apparently money keeps coming back, and you get, that could be a residual income stream. You don't do shit.
It is totally gambling. And it's all about odds, right? Like, so if you're investing in certain stocks, the odds are much lower that you'll get a gain from it, but the gains you get are higher.
But somebody, in order for the gains to be higher, doesn't somebody have to be a dumb fuck and lose?
Yeah.
So what we need is more suckers getting in on the game. That's what we need.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, to me, a residual income stream is like you've done some work, and then from that point on, you don't have to do any more work, and the money keeps coming in. But I do think it's fair to say that there's going to be some things that you could classify as residual income stream where it's like you do so little work. It's like you're going out and for every hour you work after this point, then it's like $300 an hour.
I was going to get to renting, but what I was talking about earlier was not renting as a residual income stream, but ways of getting your expenses down so that you can start residual income streams. And I was just saying that owning property versus renting property, not you renting it out to someone else, but you actually renting, costs more. It costs more to rent something yourself than to own a piece of property and live on it. And so by owning the property, if you can do it right away, it does help in reducing the outcome, like the what your costs are, as opposed to having to pay someone to rent their place and spending more money that way.
Okay.
But a lot of people can't just start that way.
So let's talk a moment about. I want to say this before I forget, and that is that. Right now, a person can go and set up something on AdWords. So that's Google's little advertising program. So that way, when you search for something, it'll appear as an ad. And then I believe you only pay by the click. So if somebody actually clicks on your ad, then you pay for it. But I'm not sure. I've looked at AdWords several times. To me, it is confusing. And I've talked to people that understand AdWords several times. And it's kind of like, if you don't understand what you're doing, you probably shouldn't touch it. Or you could read a book, spend 3 hours reading the book to be able to understand it. But right now, somebody could go and set up AdWords and hook to, like, say, I don't know, my PDC ATC thing with the 177 hours. And there's a 50% affiliate fee. So it sells for $125 right now. And so then if you go out and you sell it, I don't know, you get like $62, $62.50. So then you go out and you set it up so that it runs ads on AdWords whenever people search, and it comes up for certain phrases. Mm-hmm. And I would imagine that you put in $100 and you're going to get back $300. Mm-hmm. So you put in $1,000, you're going to get back $3,000. And then you just keep doing that. And you can just let it ride. And then, when the money comes in from the affiliate fees, maybe it goes into the same gob of money that pays out to AdSense. They could just go on forever, just set up like that. You didn't even have to create a web page.
Yeah, you're going on to other people's web pages. I would say that, yes, that is a way to do it for sure. And you will make money at it. But it is long-term, it's not. So take advantage now is what I'm saying, because long-term, that's going away. And the reason it's going away is people have started creating these plugins for browsers that block ads, specifically Google ads, because they're fucking annoying. And generations, the more technologically advanced generations are all using these kind of software programs. So the people that this takes advantage of are those that don't have those like ad blocking programs. And so, yeah, they're going to see the ads, they're going to click the ads, and you can make some money that way. And it's going to work for now. But once that generation has capped here in 10, 20 years, that goes away. But that's a long time still.
I would imagine that the ad blocker software doesn't work on Google.
It does.
It does? Oh, okay. See, I don't have the ad blocker software. I never used it.
I do. I have like 3 of them. I fucking hate ads. But
still, if you're only paying for the ones where people actually click on it, then I don't know, it's still working, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it'll still bring in income. Like, it's a good residual income. Don't count on it being your lifeblood, is I guess what I'm saying. Like, don't count on that being what's going to bring you all your income. Count on it as a little piece of income that's going to come in every once in a while. So
with all your ad blocker stuff, when you go to Permies, what does it block at Permies?
I don't have it on for Permies, so I don't block ads on Permies.
I kind of feel like we have transformed the site so there are no regular commercial ads anymore.
Most ad blockers are blocking services that they know, right? So popular services, Facebook, YouTube, things like Google, things like that. Like
and I think
the software knows that.
think we took all the AdSense off of Permies a long time ago. And so now what we do is that we only allow the internal ads, the thread boost stuff, which uses the DX5, which we were talking about earlier. And I think we got, it's like for thread boost, I think there's like a dozen different things you could do. And I think we've got 4 more things in the hopper coming soon that we're using. So I guess the big thing is that if somebody feels like, or another one is Facebook. I don't know if the ad blocker stuff works on Facebook or not, but it kind of seems like, I know that like right now, if we go out to our Facebook thing and it's like we're going to tell somebody about like, oh, we're teaching a PDC. It's like, oh yeah, we'll tell, I don't know what, like we'll tell 600 people out of 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but if you give us $100, we'll tell like
all your people,
10,000 people. We won't know. They'll never tell all of them.
Oh, they don't. I mean, yeah, there is that, and also Facebook does a thing like, okay, you're going to post something. Yes, people follow you and they want to see your posts, but we're not going to show your post to every one of those people that are specifically following you and wanting to see your posts. What we're going to do is show it to some of them. But if you want, you can pay us money and we'll show it to all the people that are wanting to see your stuff. It's like subscribing to a newsletter and then that newsletter company saying, I'm not going to send your email to all of your newsletter subscribers. I'm just going to send it to a couple. But if you pay me more, I'll send it to all of your newsletter subscribers. And so that's why a lot of people are like, fuck you, Facebook. So, yeah. But for reaching, there is a good use in Facebook in reaching people that would not have otherwise known about you. And that's like trying to get the newsletter subscribers, essentially.
Yeah.
And that would be like, I want to target all the females from this age to this age in these countries that are interested in gardening. Things like that. You can do that, and then it sends those ads to just those people. And that's where I get careful is, okay, age groups this through this. Well, a lot of those age groups have ad blockers because that age group is the kind of people that have ad blockers. So there's no point in me advertising to that. Facebook will recognize it as, yeah, we delivered the ad to them, but they didn't see the ad. It was blocked. So if you get the range, if you do a different range, you have higher, like if you do a range of 50 to 70, the range, the chances of them clicking on your ads are a lot higher if your product works for that age group, if it's marketed towards that age group. So, okay, that's getting into marketing stuff.
Let's talk about why should people give a shit, especially if you're into permaculture and homesteading. Why should you give a shit about residual income streams?
Well, it all starts with ways. I think the conversation starts with ways to reduce your expenses, and permaculture. Yeah,
I don't say it's that. It's more like I'm kind of thinking like, I want to get the fuck out of here. I'm working all day in a big brown cloud. Like when you drive into the city and you can see it's a big brown cloud over the city. And it's like, okay, but right now, you know, like a lot of people have got like $5,000 a month coming in and their expenses are about $5,000 a month. They got like practically nothing saved up.
Exactly.
And they're like, I'm stuck here. I can't get out. In fact, I have to show up to work on time because they're looking for somebody to fire now, and I don't want it to be me.
So I think the best way to go about this is, okay, there's two ways. One is to start building residual income so that, yes, your expenses are still $5,000, but you're getting more income. You're getting more than $5,000 in, so you have more money. That's one way. Another way is to reduce that $5,000 that you're spending way down, or as down as much as possible, so that you have more income. I mean, they're both doing the same thing, but one can require a lot less work. So I'm saying that if you can get your expenses down, I think doing that first is priority. And then priority number 2 is get your residual income streams up. And that combination will get you out a lot quicker.
I would say it's the opposite priorities. Okay. I kind of feel like for a lot of people, it's like basically they've sold their future self into slavery. You know, they've run up a bunch of credit card debts and stuff. And it's kind of like, you know, as they go and they look at their monthly expenses, it's kind of like, man, where can I cut? And a lot of people, it's like they've already taken the hatchet to this like twice a month, every month for the last 7 years. And sometimes they're married to a hole in the bucket, and I've got some stories in that space, but probably walk around those delicately.
Yeah.
And so then, but the thing is that with the
there's a great way to reduce your expenses. All right.
Oh, geez, that opens up a whole big can of worms right there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So the big thing is that you go out, and in fact, I always have this example in my head. I wrote an article about ants and aphids on my apple tree. And I thought it was a pretty reasonable article, but it's very specific. And I don't know how often people actually ever go to it. But about a year or 2 years after I wrote it, I stuck the AdSense ad on it. And it started bringing in like $5 a month. $5 a month is $60 a year. After 10 years, that's $600. It took me 2 hours to write the article. So I effectively got paid $300 an hour. And but I wrote other stuff too, and some of them brought in nothing or close to nothing, and some of them brought in a lot. Like, wow, people like that one, and it's like I wrote the article on diatomaceous earth. It's got some links out to Amazon, and man, people exercise those links, and so it's a significant amount of income coming into me from that diatomaceous earth article.
Yeah.
So ups, downs, ins and outs, you know. But originally I was writing this stuff thinking I'm never going to get a nickel from any of it. But when all the nickels started to add up, then I found out that it's like, wow, I can stop working. And then later it was like, I can go live anywhere I want. I can go and do all these things that I would not be able to do before. And then it added up, and I got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I was starting to put some away, and then ta-da! All right.
Yeah, and Michelle says, and then connect with your affiliate program or AdSense. Exactly. And so here, I guess, would be my formula for being stuck in the rut. This is what I would do. First of all, I would get into permaculture and preparedness, which to me is the one and the same. Become a prepper. One of those horrible words that everybody hates, a prepper. Become a prepper. Take your bias away, look into it, become a prepper or permaculturist. They're one and the same. In doing that, you're going to find a lot of fucking projects that are going to come up. You're going to find like about food storage. You're going to find about building hugelkultures and swales, things like that. And when you're doing that, video it and write articles on it. There's your content. So now becoming a prepper, becoming a permaculturist, those are things that reduce your income. You're growing your own food. You're storing your own food. If you get fired, you have food available to you, things like that. And at the same time, that's where you can get your content. Because a lot of people don't feel like they have content to share. Like, yeah, I'd love to start a blog, but what the fuck am I going to write about? I work all day, and then I come home and I make food and sleep. And so I don't have like a big project or things that I think people would be interested in, which is another falsity. There's something that you're doing that people will be interested in. So becoming a prepper, doing permaculture is just one way to go about it, that to come up with ideas and things to write about, things to do videos about. But you probably are doing things every day that could be bringing in you money. Fixing something at your house. Everybody's got to fix shit at their house. YouTube it. Do an article about it. Take some pictures, and then do affiliate links. So if you're fixing something, here's the part I used. Here's my Amazon affiliate link to that part. Things like that are just ways to it makes you better at doing projects. It's fun, and you get feedback. You get to talk to people about things, and you get some income by sharing that information. So that's why I say go down the prepper permaculture route, is because you're going to come up with a shitload of projects to do, and you're going to have tons of content to share with the rest of the world.
All right. Josh says, so many people are in that brown cloud and want out. Yep. I don't think the baby steps are clear.
That was my baby steps. That's what I'm trying to lay out, is the baby steps.
So I do think we should cover a bunch of different varieties of baby steps, because one of the things is you're saying, look, whatever you're doing, there's something interesting there, write about it, video it, whatever is your thing, and somebody will be interested in it. I've mentioned that to people, and I get 90-95% pushback. Either they don't like to write, or don't. I mean, I had one person tell me that they are still trying to figure out how Google works, like how to use Google. Mm-hmm. Some of them, it's like they fear the computer entirely. They just, like, they got one, it's 10 years old, and every time they're forced to use it, it's like suffering. And then others, it's like, writing. I think what they're trying to say is like, look, I'm just barely getting by on this whole learning how to read thing, and now you want me to write? It's like, no. So I kind of feel like, all right, I got some respect for all of that, and that's all good. And so there's lists upon lists upon lists of different things you can do that are different kinds of residual income streams. But at the same time, and I want to say baby steps. I think that's important to say baby steps. And I think the first thing to do is like come up with something that you can do that brings in $1 per month. Because if you can get $1 per month coming in, because the way residual income streams work, that's one, you do the work and then you step away from it. And then that means that over the next 10 years, that $1 a month is going to bring in $120. Is that right? Yeah, $120.
Yeah.
So then it's kind of like, all right, did it take you, 4 hours to do whatever that was? Then that's $30 an hour. That's not too bad. And if it can keep doing that for 20 years, then you've doubled your pay. So the other thing is, it kind of seems like for a lot of this stuff, in fact, this last week, it's been just brutally painful for me. I'm wrapping up for the season on rocket mass heaters, and it is amazing how people want to just stay on the road that they're on. And it's like they're gonna drive to Standing Rock and shake their fist. They're going to go and be part of protests. They're going to go and they're going to complain incessantly about problems. And then here I spoon feed a solution. And it's like they can't shut the fuck up about Tesla. But I'm sorry, a rocket mass heater does 7 times more than a Tesla. And so it's like, and it's cheaper, and you can have it in 2 days. And it's like, so how many of them are doing it? Not that many. And it's like, why?
Well, Tesla has a great marketing platform.
Marketing platform. And you know what? I'm not even sure if they have a marketing platform, but they have a PR platform.
Right.
So it's kind of like this whole thing where it's like, fuck, how much do we have to spoon feed people? All right. So I'm getting really kind of upset in that space of like all these people talking about what needs to be done to fix things, and those people aren't doing shit. They are just talk, or worse, pointing at people, specifically politicians. What a horrible, awful person. What a monster. And it's kind of like, you know what? You're not all that different. In fact, I can't help but think that if you were in that same office, whatever the office is you're pointing at, I'll bet you do worse. It's like because you really don't give a shit. And so I've kind of got a lot of anger going on this last week in this space. But all right, here's the thing, and it's like, okay, a blog or whatever. But it's a business, and so many people, it's like you give them this stuff and they're like, oh, my job, I hate my job, I got to get out of the brown cloud, I want to change things and I want it to be different. And so I go, what are you doing? Not a fucking thing, not even reading a fucking book.
Well, I do some Facebook posts and I hold a sign.
Shit.
I bought the lights. I bought these light bulbs.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, you dick.
All right, all right.
All right. So it's kind of like, all right, we're trying to spell it out. I mean, and so then I try to tell people like, okay, you know, residual income streams. They're like, oh, I'm all about residual income streams. Oh yeah, tell me what you've done. Nothing at all. But you know, I can spell it. You know, I think I can spell. I could write it out. Residual income streams. I think, and so, and then that's about it. That's about all. And it's like there was one person who has a YouTube channel. And she actually posted something about rocket mass heaters, and I said, okay, so you wrote something about rocket mass heaters. I've got a 50% affiliate fee for my rocket mass heaters. You could have just put that in the description. Just in the description, there's a link. Here's some dumbass DVDs by a giant doofus. You know, whatever. And it's like, and here's the affiliate link, and then maybe should have sold one copy a year and gotten back like $50. You know, and so she'd have made $50 a year, $500 over 10 years from that link, but no, she didn't put it there. But she did talk about how, man, times are tough, money's tight, you know.
Yeah. Well, all right. So yeah, there's lots of tools that can help you reduce your income, and I think that's part of becoming the prepper. That's the prepper permaculture side. Putting a rocket mass heater in is going to save you a lot of money, and they're fairly inexpensive to do. A lot of work though. So I think when I look at reducing expenses, I look at that as the same as residual expenses. I look at that as the same as residual incomes. They're playing the same part. And so the first thing I recommend to people is to reduce your expenses and then go for the residual incomes, or if you can, do them both at the same time. But they're both great ways to do it. One way that everybody talks about and nobody seems to fucking do is reduce your expenses, and then don't just like have that extra money, like don't put it in a savings account, because the money that you're going to get back from your savings account is shit. It's dog shit. Put it into building these residual incomes, or put it into reducing your debt down to fucking zero. Because your debt is costing you 4 to 20% or higher.
Oh, right.
It goes crazy.
Yeah,
you can get that down. Well, there's 4 or 20% more money you have to put into additional residual income streams. And it's such a no-brainer to me, but people do it like crazy. Got to buy the new Tesla car and put a fuckload of money into it and have this huge percentage they have to pay off.
So Julia said it helps if you call it a mason heater, and so then here is my. And unfortunately, I know Julia, so I'm going to say a mean thing, but Julia will roll with it. I want to say, okay, so here's what you do, Julia. You create the web page that says exactly the thing you think it should say. Oh, she's calling me a meanie now. So create the web page that says exactly what you think it should say, and then include your affiliate links, you know, and it's like, call it a masonry heater, or better yet, make the web page have a bunch of SEO for masonry heater, or, you know, great. And then as far as prepper stuff, what Josiah's talking about, it's like, I'll bet there's got to be like 1,000 prepper websites out there, and I've looked at 2 of them, and only then because somebody said, go look at what this person has said on this thing or something like that. Yeah, okay. Would you call the Survival Podcast a prepper site? Probably, maybe.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm an expert there.
It's the best one. I think it's the best one. Anyway.
Okay. So the big thing is it's like get your stuff listed out at these websites for masonry heater. You know, whatever it is that you're thinking is like the magic words. Oh, she says, I'm getting in the middle of a conversation. Scroll up to see why I said that.
Yeah, she said, you can have a rocket mass heater in a house in Portland. The code has been developed.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you call it a masonry.
So she's just trying to help somebody who's like writing in the little commenting thing, and I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I'm just glancing.
Meanie. You big fucking meanie.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway. Okay, that whole conversation of writing the things in the prepper blogs. All right, if you're going to call it masonry heating or whatever you're finding better ways of doing things, if you want, it would be very nice and helpful to share that with others. Email Paul and say, hey, I called it a masonry heater and I'm getting like this many clicks. Is that more than you're getting? Things like that. That helps. But that to go back to writing things, if you're going to write blogs, I recommend that you do write the blog, but also, and put your affiliate links in. This is what the materials that I'm using to build this thing. Here's the affiliate link to, buy that thing. And then also take that article and go to all the related Facebook groups, the related forums that are out there, and post that content to there as well. It might not help with your Google analytics, but it does help spread the word, and it helps other content creators because they're getting information back from their links. Just put a link to all the places that you put it at the bottom of the article, all the places you've placed that article. And then the content creators are happy, the forum moderators are happy. It help. Okay, Julie's also saying it's to help insurance companies for the...
You can attend a workshop on permaculture, and you can take some pictures of the workshop. I mean, I think nearly every permaculture workshop I've ever been to, it's been like, take all the pictures and video you want, with the exception of sepulcher stuff, because that stuff just gets weird. It's like, yes, you can, but no, you can't. Don't you dare, but go ahead. It's like, I don't understand. It's confusing as hell. But everything else, it's like, take some pictures, take the video, whatever, and then put some clips up on YouTube. They're excerpts from the video or something, and then YouTube pays you something like $1 per 1,000 views or something like that.
But also, very important, I think, is to, when you do that, you go to the workshop, look at all of the tools they're using, look at all of the equipment that's happening around you, and list that in your article with links. That's a great way to make money. And not only that, but by going to someone else's workshop. So let's say you're paying $300 to go to a workshop. There's 3 projects going on. Each of those projects costs about $1,000 to do, but they can afford it because they've got people coming into their workshop to cover that expenses. Okay, well, there's $3,000 worth of shit you don't have to build. You've spent $300 to get the resources to get there. And now you have all of that content, which otherwise would have cost you $2,700 to do yourself. You have all of that content now.
I saw a thing on YouTube. So YouTube, you go on YouTube and YouTube says, here's a YouTube video I think you ought to watch. And it suggests something. And there was one where it was a guy, he was saying how to make like $1,000 a day on YouTube. And I was kind of like, oh, well, I'd like to make $1,000 a day. And of course, it doesn't actually tell you how to make $1,000.
Get 2 million subscribers, step 1.
But he did say some interesting stuff. He said, like, a lot of people put together videos, and if they can get people to watch them, then some people get only like 35 cents per 1,000 views, and other people might get as much as like $4 per 1,000 views. And he says, but don't, that's crap. And then he talked about this other thing about, get sponsorship, and that gets you like $5 to $8 per 1,000 views. And he says, but you know what? What brings in like $40 per 1,000 views is an affiliate program. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, yeah, so here I am, I'm offering my stuff for a 50% affiliate fee. And it's kind of like, okay, all right, those people that want to, do what this guy says, apparently you can get $1,000 a day. I don't know how that works, but it's a possibility. It's a path. I kind of want to go back to the baby steps.
Wait, I want to hit on that real quick.
Okay.
So you're offering a great combination for people. You have the workshop, which they can go and attend. They get all of this content from the workshop, list all of the products that are used, the shovels, everything. List all of those things with Amazon affiliate links or whatever you want to do for affiliate links. Write your article, and then you have a direct correlation with products that Paul's offering that have a 40-50% affiliate fee that you can add also into that article.
Yeah, and so
Paul's already created the content for you. Instead of, now you're just writing this article, but he's created content that would have been many other articles for you to write. It's already there, and you could still write those articles and include the links to, and here's a fucking DVD set on the subject.
I think we've seen examples on YouTube of of YouTube channels where the videos that they're showing are not that profound, and they're getting massive views.
Yeah, you don't have to be a Hollywood star to make a good content. It's all about content and delivery. Having good content and good delivery, I think, is what people look for.
If there was good content and good delivery, they would be doing even better than they are. Yeah. I think that's the point I'm making, because a lot of people are kind of like, oh, I don't have whatever it takes to be able to, and it's kind of like, it seems to me you don't.
Well,
you don't have anything all that profound. It's like, I mean, when I started on YouTube, I was putting out, like, there was nothing about rocket mass heaters, and I put up a video about rocket mass heaters. There's most of the content that I put up, there was nothing like it anywhere on YouTube. Some of it, there was nothing like it anywhere on all of the internet.
So you have something unique.
Well, that's when something unique is what I did, you know, a decade ago. And now there's people that are putting up videos that seem to be like, I live on a homestead, and here's a video about nothing. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to stand in front of the camera with doing selfie mode, and I'm not even that particularly good-looking person. And somehow, you know, it's getting massive views. And it's like, clearly there's a lot of people that are desperate enough for content to have watched that.
Well, content, so if you're to the point where you're worried about the content and the delivery, well, it goes back to content. If you're worried about the delivery, that means you've probably already covered the content. So if you have something unique that you're putting out on the internet in video format or article format, you don't have to worry about the delivery as much. The delivery comes later as important rank on what's important to you, what ranks most important to you. Because you want to be the early adopter. You want to just get it out there and get people looking into it. So that's something great about being the unique first to market.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Putting out good content is definitely better than putting out lame content.
Yeah.
My point is that it seems that lame content's doing pretty good these days. And so
it'll still do good. It's not going to, I mean, the better you do, the better it's going to do. But yeah, you can still you can still do it. Entry level, a fucking cell phone is all you need. You can still get out there and get started with just that. And you don't even have to talk very well.
Okay. So then in the world of YouTube, then there's ways to...
I will say one note on doing that. Like if you're doing cell phone, the most important thing is going to be the audio. Don't worry about so much about the video. That's not as important. It is important. It's nice, but the audio is the most important thing.
Right. Audio is 10 times more important than the actual video.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the key is that it's like, all right, you can go onto YouTube, you can put stuff out there. If you can get a lot of views, then, you know, yay. And then, of course, with your videos, there's the money that you could get from YouTube eventually. Now, I think YouTube has some rules about, like, they'll start paying you when your channel gets big enough. And it's like, well, the way that your channel gets big enough is that you got to start actually putting videos in. So in order to catch a fish, you got to put a line in the water. So there's that kind of thing. Then the next thing is not everybody's into video. Not everybody's into writing. And it's like earlier I talked about how you can have a residual income stream without writing anything or making any video. You just get the AdWords pipe and hook it up to an affiliate program. Boom, you're done. And money's coming in. You didn't have to have any creative anything. You didn't have to happen along something worth videoing in or taking a picture of or whatever. Then there's sites where it's like if you do take pictures of interesting things and you're a great photographer, they got the stock photography sites. And you can set them up and say, if somebody uses this picture at the low resolution, then I get $10. But if they use it at the mega super high resolution, then I get $1,000.
That was on my list. Photo licensing. Shutterstock is a great website for that. And also down that same route, if you're into music, melodies, just tiny little melodies that I can put into my YouTube videos, I'll pay you for that melody if it's a good melody. And so there's websites where you can just sell, like you just strumming something on the guitar for 10 seconds. And I can use that and loop it. And so, yeah, you can sell just that.
Another thing is one-off T-shirt sites. If you're a graphic artist, you can put a lot of cool stuff on T-shirts. And then, of course, we have tons of free stuff on Permies to promote any of these things that you want to do. Free. It's totally free. It doesn't get any freer. Now, we've got some stuff where you could pay also, but just by doing the free stuff. In fact, you can do more with the free stuff than you can with the pay stuff, but it takes work. You gotta, if you go out and you write one post, here's my stuff, and you just leave it there, then it's not going to do really well. But if you're an active member of Permies, then all your posts start to do better and better and better. But then, yeah, you can go and say, I want Permies to direct a bunch of attention to this one post, and you could do that. So, all right.
Well,
More stuff.
Yeah, you'd mentioned selling shirts, things like that. I would say that you don't even have to be a good graphics artist yourself. Just have a friend or find a graphics artist. Maybe you're paying $300 for a graphic. Maybe you're paying $50 for a graphic from them. But yeah, putting them on T-shirts, mugs, shit like that, you can sell it that way. It's not a lot of money, but it is that $1 a month thing or $5 a month thing. It's very, because the margins are so bad for that stuff. Like you're going to make, all right, if I sell a T-shirt, well, the nice thing about doing it this way is that you don't have to worry about shipping. Like if you go through, I can't remember the name. There's print something. Anyway, there's websites out there where you just put the logo on there, pick your shirt, where you want it on the shirt, and they'll give you a link where you can sell it. I mean, you can do it easy as that. Printful, I think is called one of the websites. They take care of shipping, inventory, all of that shit. But you're only going to get like $1 for everything you sell or 50 cents for everything you sell. That's okay, because over time it's going to build up. And it doesn't even have to be that great. It could just be a funny saying. It could be a meme that's already on the internet. I mean, that's not copyrighted, of course. It's all that kind of stuff. So there's one way. Another way that ties in with that is drop shipping e-commerce sites. So drop shipping works the same way as what I was just talking about with the T-shirt company. You make up the product, and they take care of the shipping. They take care of the inventory management. Well, there's drop shipping companies, manufacturers, that are already selling products. Well, if you're writing blog articles about these different products, and instead of go through linking Amazon affiliates, you can link buy now right there from your website to one of these drop shipping manufacturers that make that product. You're getting more than what Amazon affiliate's going to give you, and you don't have to worry about inventory or shipping or any of that shit. And then on that same website, your apparel, T-shirts, mugs, all that shit, they can buy right there as well. So yeah, there's another way that you're combining the three. You're combining your content, your articles, your videos, whatever it is, in a blog format with all your affiliate links. You're combining the e-commerce shopping cart experience. This is all the shit I have to sell. And you're not having to do inventory or any of that. And then you're also selling, and here's apparel, cool mugs, T-shirts, things like that. And all of that is a couple of hours out of your week to do that.
You know, for a lot of this stuff, the Permies.com digital market that we've set up will handle a lot of that, like the pictures or ebooks. And so if people want to, if they've written an ebook and they want to sell it for $5, they can put it on the Permies.com digital market, and Permies just takes 1%.
And that's a great way if you don't want to fuck with a website. Like you're like, I don't know anything about websites, any of that shit. Well, that's a great place where you can market it. And another great thing about going to these different forums, going to Permies, things like that, is they already have the audience. One of the hardest things for people is getting the audience, building up your newsletter, things like that. And that's another thing is newsletters. I think it's ultimate goal or a top priority should be with your YouTube videos, with your articles, getting them to subscribe to your newsletter where you're sharing this content with them within a newsletter. And make sure your newsletter isn't just like here's an affiliate product I'm selling. Buy it. That should not be your newsletter. Your newsletter should be, here's some great content. Here's an article, or at least half of the article I wrote. Click here to read the rest. And also here's the link to the product you can buy.
Right.
In the newsletter.
So now, okay, so we've gotten far enough. We got a lot. There's tons more stuff that people could do for residual income. Whether you're creating something or not creating something. But I just want to point out that the thing that frustrates me is that here's all these people, and I want to help them get out of the rat race. And it's like, you're right. Part of it is reduce your expenses. And I think a great book for that is Early Retirement Extreme. Although that book is really good, and he got his expenses down from like $3,000 a month down to like $500 a month. And he talked about what he did to get there. And it's kind of like, the point of the book is, how extreme do you want to go? It's called Early Retirement Extreme. I think it's by Jacob Lund Fisker.
It's a great book. Paul, you introduced me to that book years ago, and that's what got me a lot of way down the route I went.
It's an excellent book.
Yeah, it's a good book.
And I got a podcast with the author about the book and about the whole concept, Early Retirement Extreme. Now, the one thing that the book pushes to get early retirement, and he's basically saying you can retire in 3 years, but your changes are going to have to be really extreme. And it's like, and so that's a big part of the book, is the extreme part. And it's kind of like, how extreme are you comfortable with? Maybe you're willing to try, 20% extreme the first year, and then each year you try to add on another 10% to your extreme. There it is.
Yeah, and actually, I'm not going to share the affiliate link. So what I could be doing right now is sharing my affiliate link with you guys, so that when you click on it to buy this book, I get a portion of that. But
we have a thread for the book out at Permies, which of course has an affiliate link. But even more than that, you can go onto the book and you can give it a review. Oh, so look, somebody. You posted the link.
That's not your link. That's just the direct Amazon link, no affiliate link.
Okay. So, but you can review the book, and it goes into our book review grid, which has more than 100 books in it out of Permies. We have a really amazing book review grid.
So what Paul could be doing right now is linking that.
Yeah, but who watches? You told me there's like several thousand people that are watching this live when we do it every week, but they're like on Facebook, right?
Right.
So
right
you'd have to like
20 people that are like seeing the link that I'm posting, because you got to be on the program to see that stuff.
And if Facebook it's all you people on Facebook. I just want to say Facebook so disgusts me, and it's like, first of all, Facebook and Google hate each other. But even more than that, it's like, of course, Permies. I think Permies is better. Our discussions are designed to be perennial, so we can talk about permaculture long term. And Facebook, it's kind of like, no, what's your discussion today? And then in a few days, I'm going to just wash this away.
Something like that. Well, what's your discussion in 30 seconds?
Okay, so then it's gone. And I love how Permies is designed for perennial discussion. We can pick, there's a thread that might be 5 years old, and we'll start talking about, somebody will post a reply to it. Next thing you know, we're all there talking about it again. But all the old discussion is still there, so you don't have to go repeat yourself. Anyway.
I want to go into a couple more.
I want you to do that too. I just want to say, like, I find it really frustrating that people tell me about how they want to get out, and it's kind of like, okay, we were talking about Early Retirement Extreme. And with Early Retirement Extreme is basically, okay, cut your expenses low and invest wisely. And it's like, that's the invest wisely part. It's like, that one's gambling.
Invest wisely is the smartest way to go. It's just, what are you investing in? If you mean invest in the stock market, go fuck yourself. I'll do it for like, I'll do a little stock market investing, but it's nothing like, I'm not playing that game. What I'll invest in is like, I'm pretty sure steel's going to do pretty good forever. So I'll put some money into steel.
Wait till Reardon Metal comes out.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I'm probably pissing people off by saying that. Okay.
Why? Because they don't like Ayn Rand?
Because some people hate that book. But now you've really done it. You said the author's name. You can almost get away with it if you just mention a character in the book or a little funny thing in the book. All right. So the key is that in early retirement extreme, Jacob Lundfisker says, cut your expenses way down and invest wisely. But the thing is that, and while I have some great stories about things that have worked out for me, I'm sure if I thought really hard, I'd find some investments that did not go well. But setting all that aside, I just have a hard time with invest wisely. And so, but instead, and the other thing is like, you got to keep working your day job. And the thing I'm saying is that if you can do residual income streams, it's better because like basically in early retirement, it's like, okay, first get $1 million, then live off the money that comes from the $1 million. And I'm kind of thinking like that first step, get $1 million for some people. And granted, it can be done. You got to work really hard. I think I'm going to hurt myself if I try any harder to lead people to $1 million. Like, okay, I've set the affiliate rate at 50%. Okay, I'm spelling it. Get AdWords and connect it to the affiliate program. Money comes in every month, and you don't do anything else. It's like it's driving me nuts how much I'm spilling. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is instead of get $1 million, do this stuff for residual income streams, because then you don't have to go get the $1 million, but you've got even more money coming in every month than if you did have $1 million. And you'd invested wisely.
Michelle saying, I love the permaculture millionaire story on Permies.com.
That would be the story of Gert. So I think the title of it is, Are There Already Millions of Permaculture Millionaires? But now that's a podcast for another day, or that's a Smackdown for another day. And so, all right, now the final point I want to make, and this thing I've been trying to get to by talking about early retirement extreme and all that, is that I try to mention this stuff to people, and it's like, I don't know, because sometimes I get out of my office, like not that long ago, I had to go to a funeral with Jocelyn, and so there's all these people. Sometimes there's people I don't know. Sometimes people recognize me. Sometimes people are like, in fact, at the funeral, I'm off in a corner by myself because it's like, I don't even know the person who died. I'm here with Jocelyn. And so I'm thinking no one here knows me. I am Jocelyn's guy. That's the extent of, but a few people spotted me and knew who I was and came over and said some things. But the thing is that whenever I try to mention these things, okay, I'm in a one-by-one situation. I'm not in the Smackdown. I'm not writing something. I'm at an event, and my job is to don't make people cry any more than they're already crying, okay? Jocelyn never said that. I just made that up.
Yeah. But I would have said that to you.
Yeah. So I think most people would have said that to me. Jocelyn's just too polite. So so I'm trying to be quiet and stay out of the way. And of course, you sit down at an event like this, and then you're visiting with somebody, and then you're like, oh, I want to do these things, and then it comes. Oh, but but I don't know. I don't know what to cut on I can't cut anything on my expenses. I mean, I've got 3 car payments and a mortgage, and I've got a 4,000 square foot house I live in by myself, and I've got, I can't give up any of this stuff. I can't do that. And then at the same time, I'm not really a writer. I can't write, and I don't like to video things. That's not who I am. And so it's like, you try to help them out, and they're like, but I really want to, and it's like, it turns out you're perfectly comfortable working the job that you hate for the rest of your life. I mean, I've basically, handed it to you, and then I put a layer of candy coating on it for you. I mean, I don't know how much easier I could make it for you, and they still don't want it. And it's like, okay, go ahead.
The biggest thing for people is the leap. I think once you take the leap, just say like, okay, you know how you go on those fucking diets and they never last? Just go on the diet. Like, just try it for a month and see what happens. That's just take the leap, dedicate a month. Just say, I'm going to do it for a month. and just see what happens. Get into it a little bit. Think of it as like I'm going to dedicate a month to this just to see what happens, and just give it a shot.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, I kind of feel like part of it is do whatever you think is cool, and it's weird how it can turn into residual income streams.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened to me.
I think what happens when they get into this thing, like when they take that leap, is during that month they're like, oh, this is fun. Like there's cool things and new things that I'm learning. I'm engaged. I'm not just sitting in front of the TV. Like I'm actually enjoying life a little bit.
And so I am a stupid fuck because I hear people's stuff and it's like, it's, you know, how they want to get out. And then I go and I work my ass off to help them get out. And it's like, but then they don't want to touch it. They're upset about the people in government doing terrible things. I sent out something on the Daily-ish email yesterday. I sent something out, it was yesterday. And basically what I did was I told 47,000 people, not an exaggeration, 47,000 people, I said, whether YouTube shows videos of permaculture stuff or music videos to people is not up to me. It's entirely up to you. And so basically it's like, do you want more people to understand about the problems of this world? Or better yet, do you want more people to understand how to solve the problems of this world? All you got to do is when you see something on YouTube that is in that vein, then you like it, you subscribe, you click the little bell, you leave a comment. I think there's something at the top where you say add to, and then you say add to like watch later. And then share. There's a share button there, and you can share it on your fucking Facebook or other dumb fuck places to go on the internet. But because you did all these little things, then YouTube is like, wow, this person really liked this. If this person really liked it, other people will really like it. So now I've seen videos that are a day old, and they have over 1 million views. And they also have 900,000 likes. And they have like 700,000 comments. I mean, nearly everybody who's watched it hit the like button. Whereas I think in the world of permaculture, what's going on is that 10,000 people will watch a video and 100 of them will like it. And now you wonder why hardly anybody sees this video compared to some dreck.
There's marketing things you can do for that. So one of the ideas that I had for residual income streams is an ebook. It doesn't even have to be a long ebook. It could be 20 pages, things like that. But if you have an ebook, that's a great marketing tool to use, is that I have this ebook. Normally it's $5, $3, whatever. But if you hit subscribe, if you share the video and subscribe to the newsletter, do those 3 things. I'll check them. I'll send it to you for free. Send you that ebook for free. Things like that. And it works. People do it. Like they will hit subscribe. They will share the link to Facebook, and then they will subscribe to the newsletter. And they get a free ebook out of the deal.
How do you tell if they did all those things?
You go and check. You just look at their profile to see if they like you. They subscribe to you. They shared it on Facebook.
Huh. I'm going to have to, oh, that's on Facebook. Okay. All right. I was thinking YouTube. I was thinking like, man, I don't know. I guess, all right. So it's on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. So
to finish my story, to finish what I was saying,
go ahead.
The important thing is I thought, oh man, I'm sending this out to 47,000 people. I'm going, because I get an email every time somebody comments on one of my videos. I'm thinking like, oh, wow, what have I done? I am going to get flooded with 1,000 emails from all the people being really awesome. And I think I got 6. Yeah. So it's kind of like, all right, well, I guess their interests are different than what they say.
Well, I think a big part of it is tying it to something that's common in everyday life. Like if you can make a video about something else that's common in everyday life and then tie it into that product that you're making. Okay, so like how to split wood video or something that like most people or a lot of people are doing, and they're going to want to watch this cool video, or like coolest way is to split wood. And then in that video you're like, and now I take the wood over to my rocket mass heater. That kind of tie-in where you're trying to engage outside audiences that wouldn't just be searching for rocket mass heater. They might be searching for how to split wood, and then you bring them into, and this is a rocket mass heater, or and this is the axe that I've made, whatever your thing is.
Sure. All right, back to your list of residual income streams.
Yeah, so all right, I want to make video. I think video is a great way to go about this, guys. And I know a lot of people are worried about video or scared of it. Just literally just get a little microphone so you get some decent audio, plug it into your cell phone, and just start filming things. Go into courses, filming those, building projects. Maybe you have a hobby. Maybe you're into RC cars or fixing stuff around your house. Whatever it is, just make the video. Be very descriptive in your video. And this is important. This is important for a couple of reasons. When you're very descriptive, you're listing things. You're talking about a lot of things. The more you talk about, those are more like affiliate links you can add into your videos, because people are going to want to, oh, I want to get that product. Where do you find it? And it drives me fucking nuts when I'm watching a video, they're showing something, and then I'm looking in the comments or the content section of the video because I want the affiliate link. I want that product. And if it's not there, it drives me nuts. Do it. Add that. So you're very descriptive when you're doing your video, and think of it this way. The reason you want to be very descriptive is that getting those affiliate link things, and it's easy to turn video into podcasts. How many people commute to work every day? How many people go for jogs every day? They're listening to podcasts, a lot of those people. And so if you're very descriptive in your video, you can take that audio and it makes great podcasts where people just listening in their car, listening in their headphones. And then on those podcast notes, all your affiliate links can go there as well.
Here's another way to write ebooks. And sorry to interrupt. But a good way is to go on to permies.com and find the topics that are of interest to you, and then reply and write out what you think is a clear way to spell out to people how, the answer to whatever the question's being asked. Then after, I don't know, maybe 6 months, go back and look at all the posts you've written. And a lot of times you can take like a third of those posts and cobble them together into a book.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, or, you can expand on other people's ideas, like topics you're interested in, replying to those, writing your own topics, just starting them to see what replies are, and build up your knowledge base of that subject that you want to include in a book. Absolutely. And posting your articles into the Permies, like even if it's snippets of it, like I want to expand on this idea. I'm working on this article. I want to expand on this idea. Post it in there and see what kind of comments you get, because it can help you write out that article a lot easier.
Another one is that you're kind of going to, instead of writing about something that you already know, you can ask questions. Yeah. And it's like, ask really good questions and then get the responses back. Then when you go to cobble together your book, just contact those people and say, I'm making a little ebook. Can I use what you said in my stuff? All
right. So the next thing that comes after you've started doing this stuff, just for the month, just trying it out. All right, you're building up all of this content. You're talking about all these cool things. You may be writing an ebook. You may be doing podcasts. You may be doing videos. You may be doing all of those things. The next thing, based off all that information you've gathered, especially if you've gotten to the point where you're writing an ebook, it's course time. Start doing some online educational courses. And that's a great residual income. You do your course, you film it. Some places you can do lower quality stuff. Permethos, where you have kind of a higher quality margin, I like to think. But you start doing video courses. You put out your content as in a course format, online educational course format, which is essentially like reading an ebook or doing the videos you're already doing. It's just organized. You start doing that, and then once a month, once every 3 months, depending on your course, you go on to a video session like we're doing here with the classmates, and you talk about things, you answer questions, you expand on stuff that's in your course, maybe add a couple videos to your course. But it's it's the same thing. You've done this large upfront work, and you get a lot of passive income. Could be $300 for every person that buys your course. I mean, so there's another great way to get a passive income is online educational courses. And when you're doing all of these things, you're making these books, podcasts, videos, courses, Patreon. There's another. You're getting paid for every time you make one by people that are like, I really like what this guy's doing. I'm going to support this guy or gal's doing. I'm going to support it. Some other things as far as getting expenses down. This isn't for everybody, but it worked great for me, and it's working a lot for a lot of people out there. RVs. People are moving into RVs because it's so fucking expensive to get property. It's so expensive to rent. And you don't have to build a house. It's a great starter way to get through life, or it's a great way to go travel, especially if you're doing these online educational things or passive income things, and you start getting that income coming in. It's very low expenses, and you can travel, online jobs, things like that. I think that's a great way. It's not for everybody. It's hard when you have like kids, things like that, but some people do it with even kids. Get an RV, to get a truck camper, whatever. Try living in that. Try it for a month before you go all out into it. But that's another thing that I would think would be a great topic in early retirement extreme, is doing the RV life. And because there's so many people doing that now, a lot of people are getting into RV living. There's another residual income. If you have a place, even if you're renting, a lot of people do this. Rent your driveway out. A lot of people are looking, hey, all I need is a plug-in. I need power. So how much is power going to cost per month for this person to run in their RV? Where do you live? I mean, that can, if they have AC in their RV and you live in a hot place, that might get expensive. But just make sure your rent cost is in tune with that. But yeah, just rent your driveway. There could be like an extra spot on the side of your house, gravel area or whatever. RV, rent an RV. And it's easy to evict them. Get your fucking vehicle off my property. Here comes the tow truck. All right, let's see here. Renting a room in your house. Once you get into that realm, when you're renting houses or renting rooms in your house, make sure you look into the legal stuff, because some places suck for that. Other places are great. Get out, you're out. But that's another great way to get some passive income. Car advertising. Do you drive a lot, commute to work? There's like companies, there's one called Carvertise. You just put like stickers on your car and they pay you for having the sticker on your car. So there's another just like passive income. If you don't give a shit about having, I don't know, a stripper on your car or whatever they put, I don't know what they put. It's like energy drinks, shit like that. If you don't care about having it, I don't. Put it on your car. You get some passive income. You can get $50 a month just for having like a Red Bull sticker on your car. I don't know if that's the right price, but you get money that way.
I've heard it's hundreds of dollars a month.
It depends. You could cover your fucking car and get, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to put on a certain number of miles on your car, which is kind of contrary to the values that we're looking for. And you got to keep your car really, really clean.
Yeah, it's just another passive income. Hey, you got an electric car?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, another great one that we haven't talked about, I hope people don't miss. Renting your shit on Craigslist. Renting your stuff. You got an extra table and chairs, you can rent those. You got a party tent, you can rent that. You got tools. Maybe you got cameras, more expensive things that people don't want to invest a bunch of money into for one-off projects. Extension ladders. You can rent those out on Craigslist. That I think we're good. We're 20 minutes over, so I think we've covered a lot, and there was a lot of good stuff in there, I hope, for people.
So I know that one of the big things that you're pushing earlier on, which I think is indeed important, but I mean, we're trying to talk about residual income streams, which is to get to the point. And I think what happens is you've got $5,000 a month coming in, and then at some point you realize You got $5,000 a month coming in from your day job, but you've got $2,500 a month coming in from your residual income streams. And so then the next thing is that I know that like when I was, 23, I mean, I had all those student loans and I had credit card debt. I had all the dumb fuckery from when I was younger. And I rented a room. I called it the Hovel. It was $110 a month. And that may have been overpriced. And I lived there for 2 years while just wiping out all my debts. I lived super frugal. And then I became debt-free. I think it took me about 2 years to just wipe everything out by just being super. I was just tired of being a slave to the choices of my past self.
It's ultra important. And it's the first step you need to take before realizing you don't need that fucking day job. Like, I can do it on my own. I can build my own company, or I can live a frugal life and make enough money that I'm living just happy, making $10,000 a year or whatever you're making off your passive residual income. And permaculture, you got to combine it with permaculture. It doesn't work. Yeah, absolutely. Getting your debt is so important. Getting that debt paid off. Never doing debt again. Buy a used car. If you need a new car, don't get a new car. Just buy a used car. That's what unless you got the cheddar, like it's been working and you got the cheddar, you can do it. Just live that frugal life to get that debt paid off. And that's where permaculture and prepping comes in as well, I think. You're living that life. You're saving money by growing your own food. You're saving money by storing your own food, being prepared for getting laid off, things like that. By living that, it's going to be easier to pay off your debts. And paying off your debts is so important.
So the next thing is outside of residual income streams, which I think is critically important, because the really great thing is if you got $2,500 a month coming in on residual income streams, and then you drop your house. You're like, I'm out, and I've sold my cars, and I have liquidated. I've had 8 garage sales that's thinned it down. Now everything I have fits into one car, and I've got $2,500 a month coming in. Even if I go sit in a hammock all day and watch the clouds pass, $2,500 a month still keeps coming in month after month after month. And so now I'm living in that hammock and I'm going to go on an adventure. I'm going to go over here and over there, and I'm going to go and I'm going to rent a room over in this other city, and I'm going to see all the sights, and I'm going to now you're talking. Now you can do so much more. And then, of course, I would strongly advocate going someplace where there's a bunch of permaculture stuff.
Yeah, I was just going to say that once you're to that point, all those travels, that's just more content that you could be creating to build more residual income.
Sure. Yeah. Now, then there's agile income, and that's going to be work that you can do no matter where you live. So you're still talking about something, and for a lot of people, they just can't quite do the residual income streams for whatever reason. They've got like some sort of personal brain block or something when it comes to residual income streams. But agile work they can do. And it's like there's going to be more and more work that you can do over the internet. And so, for example, when Cassie worked for me, Cassie was in California, and I'm in Montana. And it's like, so that was one example. But I've got, like, for example, the stuff where it's the thread boost and people can collect the 40%. I would classify that as probably a combination of agile work and residual income streams. It kind of seems like you're going to get somebody to buy the thread boost. You get to have the 40%. And then maybe every 2 or 3 months, you're going to have conversations with those people again about how they want to change things or do another thing or do more or whatever. But I do think that there could be instances where it's entirely a residual income stream, where they buy the advertising, and then a month later they buy more, and a month later they buy more, and you're not involved at all. It's all automated through the system. And then your PayPal account just gets bigger every month, and you didn't do anything. But there are things that you can do that are online. And so we've got a bunch of stuff available at Permies, but then there's all kinds of stuff all over the internet that you can do that's legitimate work based on whatever skill you got.
There's also places that will pay you for shopping you already do. Like if you buy a lot of stuff on Amazon, there's like companies that will pay you every time you go to Amazon and buy stuff. That's weird. Or go to whatever, you pay your AT&T bill. Like I can't remember the company names, but just look them up. There's like get paid to do your shopping or whatever. So that, Paul, I feel like we could continue. I mean, there's like tons of stuff we could talk about. We didn't even get into health stuff, like how eating right and doing permaculture, you're eating your own food, you're reducing your health costs, things like that by exercising. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff we could talk about. I'll bet, Paul, we could do a course on this if we want.
Yes, that's true. It sounds like you're making wrapping up sounds, and I've got just a couple of more notes I want to squeeze in real quick. Along with Early Retirement Extreme, there's also the book Mortgage Free by Rob Roy. He's not the dead Scottish guy. He's actually an alive guy. But he's also got books on, cordwood homes and a bunch of other natural building things. But he's got a book called Mortgage Free. And the general idea is you cut way back on your expenses. You save up money for your grub stake. And then your grub stake is to buy your land and then build your first shitty house. You buy raw land. And you build a shack. And then you build a tiny, okay house. And then you build your first proper house, which is still quite small. But you've designed it in such a way that you can add on to it over the years. The idea is that you have a lovely large home and you never had a mortgage. Excellent book. Smells a lot like Early Retirement Extreme, only a lot more details on the natural building angle. So let's see. The other thing is that with the 40% affiliate fee on the Thread Boost stuff, workshops, PDCs, events. I mean, like, let's say somebody's got a workshop that they're trying to put together and you're on the committee and you can say, oh, I got a place where I could put it. You put it out there, and I think most of the workshops that get posted get something like, 3,000 or 4,000 views on Permies, which is probably far better than anything you posted out to Facebook ever. And then if you throw $100 at it, it'll probably pump it up to like over 10,000 views. And that's like, in order to get 10,000 views on a thread, the Thread Boost stuff probably had like 500,000 impressions around the rest of the site to draw attention to that one thread. And so it's like, you get 100 times more value at Permies than you do on Facebook.
Yeah, well, one thing that I really like the idea for on Permies is if I've got a product or an affiliate of a product, I can pay to have it thread boosted and say, anytime this word is mentioned, make it link to my thing.
It's true.
I fucking love
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So workshops, PDCs, events, products, businesses, other affiliate programs, and so those are all things that can be boosted. And then whenever you go ahead and you create the thread for somebody else, and then you check the little box that says, I want to be the affiliate for this thread, and then somebody comes and actually pays for the thread boost. So like your group that you're part of actually pays for the thread boost, you get a 40% kickback, 40% affiliate. So those are my notes. I said everything. I'm good. I'm ready to bail.
Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Permaculture Smackdown. We talk about all kinds of stuff like this every week. Can't wait to see you next week. Thanks everybody, and thanks again, Paul. Hey, stick around, because if you are one of our customers or Patreon supporters, you're probably in here. We spend a little extra time after the show with everybody. If not, you're just seeing the stream, and goodbye.
Bye!
All right.